Then we get to number 3, 1 Corinthians chapter 11. I don't have time to read the whole thing here, but it's talking about the Eucharist. And Paul says something very, very powerful that most people don't know about. He says that, I'll just read it. Whoever therefore eats the bread or drinks the cup of the Lord in an unworthy manner will be guilty of profaning the body and blood of the Lord. Let a man examine himself, and so eat of the bread and drink of the cup. For anyone who eats and drinks without discerning the body eats and drinks judgment upon himself. That is why many of you are weak and ill, and some have died. So he's saying Jesus is so truly present that if people who don't know that or don't believe that or who are in mortal sin and receive that, not only are they eating and drinking judgment upon themselves and committing an act of blasphemy, but some of them either physically sick and some even die because of it. Would that happen if it was just a symbol? No. It's literally his body, blood, soul, and divinity, right? Very, very clear from St. Paul there. Okay, then number 4th proof. Then we get the Eucharistic miracles, right? There's so many Eucharistic miracles. Hopefully you've heard about these. You can study them. St. Carlo Acutis is famous because he compiled a website of all these different Eucharistic miracles. There's even more that keep happening. And this is where at Mass you get the bread or the wine, and we know they're turned into the body, blood, soul, divinity, but they still look like bread and wine. But sometimes the Lord will actually turn them so that they look like flesh and like blood. And then they last for centuries and centuries and centuries the way they normally wouldn't do. So whether they're 1,300 years old or 700 years old or 400 years old or 100 years old or 20 years old or 3 weeks ago, we get Eucharistic miracles all over the place. And then when we look at them and say, well, is this real? Is this fake? Like, what's going on? And they look and they study and they say, well, this is the flesh of a Jewish man who suffered under great distress. That's how he died, under great distress. That it's always the flesh condition. The flesh itself is from human heart, from this man's heart, and his blood type is the universal donor to everybody. Does that sound like anyone that you can think of? Jewish man who died, great agony, giving his heart for the life of the world that's available to everybody, right? This is Jesus, clearly.